Hi, I'm Dominic Cook.
Caught by Terrence Williams, but fumbles, and the hit to force it came from Dominic Cook.
Defensive back.
Picked off by Dominic Cook.
Number 25, UB Bulls. Yeah, and you're in the bullseye.
All right, man, a lot of talking is going on. Right now, it's time to put your head, your heart, your pads, okay? Most physical team wins this football game. And I want to see a football team that represents UB for 4 quarters of football. Every single player, every single play, every single down. You understand me? That's the mark of a championship football team. And we need this test. We want them to bring their very best today. Proud of you. Let's go out there and represent each other and UB football.
Welcome to Waco, Texas and Baylor University for this week's edition of The Bullseye. I'm Paul Peck, radio voice of the Bulls. It was a disappointing trip to Texas as the Bulls lose to Baylor 34-6. We'll break down the loss and analyze it with Bulls head coach Jeff Quinn.
You'll see how just a straight downhill inside run play distorts the defense with adding a little motion with the wide receiver here.
We'll talk about a couple of other UB sports, including volleyball, as Kristen Bignell joins us.
A great strength program and conditioning program, so we're stronger, faster this year.
And we'll talk cross country with head coach Vicki Mitchell.
We really had 2 goals in mind. For both the men's and women's teams, we wanted to have an even pace throughout the race with a strong finish.
But first, it's football, and while this was a disappointing game for the Bulls, it was a pretty good day for the 8 Bulls who returned to their native Texas and the families that came to cheer them on.
Since my freshman year, my mother's always reminded me, hey, you're going to Baylor your senior year. We can't wait, you know? So, I mean, I'm just really focused on the game, honestly. It's great to have family there. You know, they're going to be there to support me. They're all making T-shirts and they're ready to tailgate. You know, oh, everybody bring food. It's going to be a great time, you know.
I'm joined now by Bulls radio color analyst Jim Kubiak. You know, every team comes in here trying to pull off the upset, and the Bulls wanted to do that today. It just didn't work out that way, and they just didn't make enough plays, and they gave up too many plays.
Well, a wise old coach once told me that more football games are lost than won, and when you have negative plays and you have breakdowns and mental errors, the results can be disastrous. And Buffalo comes in against a good Big 12 opponent in Baylor, and you know, that's a football team that plays some pretty good opponents. And I thought Buffalo did a good job physically, but just made too many mistakes.
Well, the quarterback situation, Jerry Davis has the outstanding first start, and this one, 18 for 46, he struggled a lot. As a former quarterback, how do you handle the highs and lows of this game of football?
Well, that's what you sign up for. I mean, when you're a quarterback, you want that kind of pressure. And last week, Jerry Davis answered the bell, had a great game against Rhode Island, completed a lot of balls. This week, struggled early and didn't seem to get in very much of a rhythm. So, you know, Jerry Davis is going to look at himself, look at his plays, look at his performance, see what he could do better for next week.
Positives in the offense, the running game got itself going. Brandon Oliver had a good game. Jafon Gill provided a little bit of a spark. That had struggled in the opener. Maybe that's a good sign.
Boy, the running game looked really good, Paul. And, you know, they didn't even rush for 100 yards last week, but they come in here against a more physical opponent and had over 150 yards. So I think that's a real bright spot. You got Brandon Oliver rolling a little bit inside, Jafon Gill. That's a bright spot that Buffalo can build on.
Defensively, there were 2 big breakdowns that left receivers wide open, and Baylor was able to capitalize it. Take away those 2 plays, and Buffalo's defense actually hung in there pretty well.
I thought they did a really good job, and they were on the field for a long time, especially early on. Buffalo starts offensively with 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and that's a long time for a defense to be on the field.
Dominic Cook gets an interception. That was one of the big plays on defense. I thought Khalil Mack continued to play well at outside linebacker. Justin Winters had another big hit. So there are real signs that this Buffalo defense is just continuing to get better and sort of growing into this new 3-4.
And that's all you can do. I mean, you take a game like this where you play a better opponent, you make a bunch of mistakes, you have to go back and realize that when you play those teams that are really physically dominating, you can't make those kind of mistakes and win football games.
Well, you can't take away the big plays that the Bulls gave up on defense. It doesn't work that way, and that's part of the reason why after the game, Jeff Quinn started off his post-game comments by saying we just simply weren't good enough.
And we talk about don't beat yourself, and we had a number of situations in tonight's game that, you know, we created our own, problems, you know, and obviously it allowed them some chances to score in the first half. You know, we only gave up 7 points in the second half, which I was proud of the way our defense came back out and fought, but you know, it just simply wasn't good enough.
We just got to get back. I mean, play's over, we got to snap our heads back to the sideline and get aligned and get the call in, and sometimes we lost focus in executing and getting aligned, and they capitalized.
You know, they caught us. They caught us off guard a little bit, and I give Baylor and the coaches credit from an offensive standpoint. They did a good job of catching us, you know, off balance, and that's the key. And we can learn from that too, you know, because I like some of the things that Baylor does.
The running game is great, you know, Brandon Oliver, and you know, the running game was good. We just didn't make enough plays, you know, offensively, you know, as far as the pass game, and Baylor did.
In the second half, you know, we ran for a little bit more than 150 yards, and I really wanted to see our kids be able to come back and run the ball. You know, I try to, it's hard not to do this, but we try to stay away from looking at the scoreboard. We wanted to execute our offense. We wanted to get back and just get in a rhythm and try to get our different personnel on the groupings and get some of the things that we need to see. This is our second time playing football together and coaching together as a football team. So there's a lot of things I wanted to see, and I saw some good things. So there are some positives, and I felt like our kids fought and they competed.
We got to get this energy back up because we're coming from a game where we dominated to a game where we didn't do so good and we didn't do the way we expected. So it's going to be important that we get into that film room and be able to fix the mistakes and let the leaders be able to bring that energy for next week's practice and get ready.
It's all mental. It comes down to being all mental. It's how you respond, you know, especially being a quarterback, how you respond to adversity, you know, and we're going to go ahead, take a look at the game, and just get ready for UCF.
24-hour rule. We know we let UCF beat us last year. Now they're coming to our house. We just hope to push forward and come out with this win.